Hi, Jamie here, also known as Standard American. Normally, we post videos working on our property up in the mountains of Northern California, but we're going to be posting a series of videos from our vacation in Maui. So sit back and enjoy some Maui time. Aloha.
Hey, Standard American here. So, I wanted to tell you guys about our adventure getting to Maui from our house. It was by far the worst traveling day in the history of mankind, I believe. And by the time we got to our Airbnb in the hotel, we had had enough of each other and the world. And it was pretty crazy. It was a couple cocktails before we liked each other again, and then we went on with life and everything's happy again. But anyways, it all started about 4:15 in the morning, heading to the airport, Jake driving us to drop us off. And we get all the way out to the airport, and we're getting off the exit, and that's when my wife realized that I forgot my makeup and my curling iron, which I need desperately. And as she put it. Anyways, so I told her, let's just buy new stuff when we get there. Heck, it ain't worth it. Half hour from home already to the airport. So we decided, screw it, we'll turn around and go back and get her stuff, because that's expensive to replace all the makeup and curling iron and everything. So we turned around, went back home, which started off our adventure kind of awkward, but we got it done. We got back to the airport, and everything was going smoothly till we get to the TSA part. And I had taken everything out of my pocket and put in my ball cap upside down in the basket to go through the x-ray machine. And after I get through the little x-ray machine myself, they decided that I had a long sleeve shirt on with the sleeves rolled up. Apparently that's not allowed going through TSA checks. So they took me aside, patted me all down, and then said, okay, sir, you can go. And I went over to get my stuff, and the x-ray machine had flipped my hat out of the tub. All my stuff was scattered everywhere. I thought I gathered it all up. We walked all the way through the airport, got just about to our gate when I realized, oh no, my nitroglycerin for my heart problem that I got is not in my pocket. Oh crap. So I was like, screw it, I'm going on. Kim's like, no, that's the one thing you're gonna go back and get. So I went all the way back to the TSA station, and I'm trying to look for things, and the guard come over and said, hey, can I help you? I go, I lost something. And she's like, what'd you lose? I said, it's really hard to say in the airport to say nitroglycerin, because old school, that was an explosive. So I'm like, my nitros for my heart. And she goes, oh, a little brown bottle about that big? I go, yes. She goes, all right, I'll help you look. So we looked around, found it down in the rollers, on the exit rollers of the thing finally, and which was a good thing. Okay, well, there's strike two on our adventure. I was like, okay, well, at least I know if I have a heart attack, I got my nitroglycerin with me. So then we go and wait for our flight. They're boarding and everything, and I get my boarding pass out, and I go to scan it, and the lady grabs it out of my hand. She scans it and hands it back to me, and I was like, wow, that was kind of weird. And she goes, have a nice flight. And I was like, okay, well, maybe that's the way they do it. And so, before getting on, I make sure my wife gets through okay. So I turn around and look at hers, and the lady didn't grab hers. She's like pointing at the thing. Everybody else scanned theirs, but she took mine out of my hand. And now I'm thinking, well, that was kind of rude. But anyways, whatever. Get on the plane, fly to Long Beach, and we get to Long Beach, and before you come to Hawaii, you have to register online with their travel site, State of Hawaii travel stuff, where it's a COVID-19 thing. So you have to scan your vaccination card and your ID and send it to them online, and then they give you a QR code. Well, we had to stand in line and show our QR codes and all this, and they give you a wristband so that when you get off the plane in Hawaii, you just go on about your business. Well, I couldn't pull up our QR code because it wouldn't let me access the website for some reason. And so they said, oh, no big deal. When you get to Maui, you get off the plane, you get in a separate line, and you go to their check-in station, and you can do it all there. They'll help you do it. And so I'm thinking, all right, no big deal. We're still in Long Beach, and we're boarding the plane, and everybody's going through. I get up there, and I scan my boarding pass, and the guy says, nope. I'm like, what do you mean, no? He goes, sir, step aside. Your ticket's not valid. So now I'm confused. What do you mean it's not valid? Kim's checked hers through, and they're telling her, ma'am, you need to get on the plane. And she's like, no, what's going on with his? They go, he doesn't have a ticket. And so I'm like, yes, I do. They said, no, you canceled your ticket in Sacramento. I'm like, now how would I have canceled my ticket in Sacramento when I'm here? I flew from Sacramento to here with my dang ticket. And they said, well, you must have gotten on the plane without scanning it. And then I was, now I'm getting upset. Now I'm starting to argue with them. I was like, no, the lady ripped it out of my hand, scanned it herself, handed it back to me, and said, have a nice flight. So you better get this straightened out. And I'm getting upset. My wife's trying to calm me down, and I'm like, well, let's just get in the... So the lady was pretty nice. She's like, I'll take care of it, sir. We'll just step aside, let everybody else get on the plane. And so everybody's boarded. It's now time for the plane to take off. They're telling Kim, get on the plane. And she's like, no, I'm not getting on the plane. They're like, yes, you have to get on the plane. And she's like, no. So the guy finally backs off and says, all right, well, as soon as they get this stuff, you both need to get on that plane in a hurry. Well, the plane was 35 minutes late, us boarding, because it was 35 minutes after the flight was supposed to leave, and we're still standing in the thing, and the pilot's standing out on the loading deck of the thing, looking at his watch and shaking his head. He wasn't happy. The rest of the flight wasn't happy.
Our family was on that flight. Our whole family, our aunts and cousins,
all my mother-in-law, and Kim's aunts and cousin and her family, and everybody are on the plane already, and they're telling her, Kim, you got to get on that plane. She's like, no. So finally they get it all somewhat squared away, where they said, okay, here's your boarding pass for here, but you got to get it straightened out for your return flight home. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So we get on the plane, and luckily it was a good, 5.5 hours to Maui on the plane, because gave me an opportunity to kind of mellow out a little bit. And then we land, and they said, all right, everybody with a red wristband that's already checked through can stay to the right. Everybody else get in this line to the left. So I'm thinking probably only a couple people. Well, now half the flight was over there in that line, but they all seemed to check through real fast, considering it was 45 minutes in line, no big deal. And I thought, okay, we'll get up there, they'll get it straightened out in a few minutes. Well, we get up there, the lady says, where's your QR code? I said, that's the problem, I couldn't pull it up. And so she goes, all right, well, let's try it again. And we tried it and tried it and tried it. And she goes, well, you did something wrong. I said, I don't know what we did wrong, but, she goes, you're in the system, but it's not pulling up for some reason. And so, I'm pleading with her. I got my vaccination card right here. I got my ID right here. These are the 2 items you say I need. And so she's like, well, yeah, but you got to fill out this form. I go, okay, you got a paper form. They're like, no, we don't do it that way. It's all online, digital. We don't handle paper. It's like, oh my Lord. And so, anyways, we went on and on, an hour and a half trying to get that squared away, and I was beside myself. My foot was hurting from my Achilles tendon problem, standing there for a couple hours in the airport. And finally, they got us checked through, or they got me checked through. They were still working on Kim. She was worried about our luggage, which her cousin already grabbed. She's like, no, you go get our luggage from Christina and let them get on their way, because they got to get their car and get going. So it was really awkward to leave my wife behind to go get my luggage, but she told me to, and so I do what I'm told. And so it was another probably 20-25 minutes to a half hour before she came down the stairs and met with us. And boy, what an adventure. And then to top it all off, and now I'm irritated.
Now you're irritated?
I've been irritated all day. It was pretty hilarious. But anyway, so after we went to Walmart and all that and ate, and we decided, all right, we'll drive to get our room, which, I didn't know how to get there, so I pulled it up on the GPS. So I'm following the little blue line until my phone died, because some knucklehead didn't plug it in when I got in the car. And so now I'm upset because I don't know where I'm going. I was following a blue line. So we're trying to pull it up on Kim's phone. Her phone wasn't working because we didn't have a signal or something. And I was like, oh my word, this is not happening. And so I got my phone plugged in, and we sat around there for about 20 minutes till I got enough charge in it to pull up the GPS again. And we finally made it with some minor navigational errors. And by the way, my wife is a horrible navigator. I love her to death, but she cannot navigate.
By the time we got to the hotel, we were not speaking.
Oh, exactly.
And seriously not speaking. Like shut up.
It was horrible. And then so in the hotel, we're on the 10th floor. There's one elevator, And it's at the very opposite end of the hotel from our room. So it's a long walk, for one thing, once we get to our floor, on the 10th floor. So we go check out the room, and then I'm like, all right, well, we got to get a voucher for the rental car for parking in the parking lot. So we got that from the front desk. I stick it in my back pocket, and we asked the lady if they had a luggage cart. She said, yeah. So we grabbed a luggage cart, went out to the Jeep, loaded all of our luggage and all of our groceries that we got from Walmart, headed up to the room, and I wheeled that cart, you know, pushing it with my blown out Achilles.
And we're exhausted.
And we're exhausted. Bitchy. And I get right to our door, and I reach in my pocket to get the door key card out, and I realized, oh crap, I got that stupid voucher for the Jeep in my pocket. So I was like, oh man, I'm pissed. That's when my wife told me, just shut up. I'm tired of you being pissed. Then we didn't speak to each other for another hour.
2 cocktails.
That was a couple cocktails later. We started speaking to each other and laughing about it. But it was like, oh my Lord, I'm tired of you being pissed. It was hilarious.
But since then, yesterday we had a great day.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal day yesterday. We went and did some snorkeling, and our first spot, our go-to spot, was a little cloudy. It wasn't that great this time, but Kim found us another spot way over past Kihei on the other side of the island. Where's it called? Wailea. And yeah, that beach was awesome, man. It was nice getting in the water, and it was pretty clear. There was turtles everywhere, those Hawaiian green turtles or whatever they're called. And yeah, it was really nice. So but yeah, our adventure getting here was not the most pleasant day we've ever had in our lives, and quite unhappy. And then what?
And then today we're going to Hana.
Oh yeah. So today we're on the road. We're heading to Hana, and I figured that was a great opportunity to tell our getting here adventure story. And so yeah, I'm gonna probably put you guys out the front window and do some time lapse for the road to Hana and all that. So, all right, enjoy. So that concludes my ranting video on our adventures getting here, and we're gonna have a lot more videos posted shortly. You know, swimming with turtles and road to Hana, because basically Hana itself was a disappointment. There's really nothing there, you know. But the road getting there and the scenery is just amazing. The beaches and stuff, once we got, you know, past Hana and all that, were just phenomenal. It was really cool. But anyways, more videos to come, so just hang tight for a little while, and I'll shoot some more your way. Aloha.